Hello and welcome to part 3 of Talking Plants. It's been a little while, but I've got some great new additions, so let's get on with it. So let's start with this plant. Now this plant has been on my wish list for a long time. I have no idea why I didn't buy it before now, but I finally got it. So this is Manihot grahami, if that's pronounced correctly. Also sort of known as the hardy tapioca. Great looking plant, stunning looking leaves, reportedly hardy to about -10. I know a lot of people have kept it out through most winters, so it has got a good hardiness. I couldn't say reliably what temperatures and conditions it realistically could get to, but for such a tropical, beautiful leaf shape, it really does, you know, if you can get hold of it, deserve a place in a tropical garden. I think the best example I first see this, where I fell in love with this plant, is the YouTube videos of Springy Steve's garden, and he had an example of this plant in one of his parts of his video in his garden. I visited Steve's garden and it is stunning, and he had a couple of these I think, but he had a large one of them planted with a black leafed colocasia and some burgundy coleus, and I see the sort of plants together and thought it was probably one of the sort of best planting schemes that really caught my eye. There were plants I would have never put together, but I just thought they looked absolutely stunning. And since then I've sort of wanted this plant and never really had the chance to get hold of it. So this one came from the Big Plant Nursery, came up on sale. They sold out quite quickly. I think I paid about £45 for it, which is a fair price for this sort of size plant, and so glad to have it in my collection. Now I'm going to go on to another plant. This one came from Desert to Jungle. I've had this probably maybe a couple of months in the greenhouse. It has been potted up, and this is my Bruss-opsis hispida. The leaves, I have just washed them down because they had lots of Trachycarpus pollen on them and looked a bit messy, so that's why they look so glossy and green. Now this one isn't really hardy. It may take a few degrees of frost. I'm not too sure on its hardiness, to be fair, but it's definitely one compared to Bruss-opsis mitis and the Bruss-opsis fatsoides, which you could probably get away with in most UK gardens in most sort of average winters. They would probably get through, but this one, this hispida one, I would sort of say this is probably more to bring in, you know, to a greenhouse, keep it potted, bring it out sort of early spring, keep it out for all summer, and just enjoy that really lovely tropical leaf shape. Well chuffed with that one as well. I have grown this before. I brought it as a very small plant. I potted it up and I don't think I give it free draining enough soil. So this one has got a lot more gritty mix, and I've made sure that the pot has sort of clay pebbles and at the bottom. I really wanted to make sure that I kept it moist, but it could drain really freely. And yeah, this one seems to be a lot happier growing away, whereas I actually sort of rotted the roots around my first one. Learned from my mistake on that one, and yeah, really looking forward to watching this one grow. Now my next plant is a Rheum, and this one was gifted to me by a sort of a plant nursery owner that I get on really well with, and this is Rheum Colossus, and I think from the name Colossus you can see why, because of the size of the leaves. Now look at that leaf, considering the small pot it's in. I'm really excited about this, and I can't thank him enough for giving me this from his own sort of collection. Now this, I'm hoping to get a new spot down the bottom of the garden, And Regersea is generally like a shady condition. They do like, not their feet wet, but they do like plenty of moisture in the sort of growing months, you know. So I wouldn't say they're marginal, but if you put them near the side of a sort of a boggy area or something like that, they should do really well for you, and create these absolutely enormous leaves, which come out this sort of bronzy colour to start with. If I go down to the one below, the smaller leaf that's coming out, you can see that's very sort of bronze there, and even the new growth just there, very bronze, and then it's going to green up as it gets bigger. Now, I do have plans for an area down the bottom of the garden. When I do my next tour, hopefully I can mention that, and I'm really looking forward to getting this into the garden. So an example of how big this is, this new growth that's just come out, if I put my hand to it there, you can sort of see how big that is. Now I'm going to move over here where I have one planted in my border, and this one is a Regersea, which is called, I think this is Bronze Peacock, this one, if I remember rightly. Now I'm going to put my hand over to here, to this new growth. Now this one's been in the border for quite a few years, so it's well established. And if you look there, I could pretty much cover that whole plant. Still a stunning plant, but compared to this one, which I could actually, if I wanted, lift it over and put them side by side for scale. Hence why this one is called Colossus. So really thankful to get that. I'm not sure where else you can get them from. Probably Krieg's Farm, because that's what it's named after, being Krieg's Colossus. So maybe their nursery online might sell them. I haven't looked. I was gifted it yesterday. So happy to get it. Can't wait to get the area ready for it to go into, so I can get the most of the growth from them other two sort of new shoots coming out. And absolutely great addition to the garden. So I have quite a few new plants to talk about. Hopefully I can get some of them new plants into my next videos, and I'm also going to do a bit of a tour. The shade border behind, Fatsias are doing absolutely brilliant, from the spider webs to the polycarponidum forms. It just tends to have been a really great year for all of them. And to be fair, we've had a really wet spring, we've had a really wet winter, but despite that, these plants are doing really well. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be on the ball, and I'm going to try and get quite a few more videos out there, because I've been busy and the weather has not been great, which has sort of affected how many videos I can do. But if you like these videos and you want me to carry on doing it, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'm going to say please subscribe. Generally, most of my videos, about 80% of the people don't subscribe. It is free, it don't cost out, it just means that hopefully you get to see more of the videos I do if you like this kind of thing. Great plants, hopefully you can get them for your garden. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.